there is so much that comes with experiencing a traumatic event. Like so much that if you are not careful and you bubble it up, like, you know, one day you're gonna break down. And you might I work in a psych hospital. The people that come there with so many suicide thoughts, they would like kill themselves because there's a lot of things that there's a lot of experience that they didn't deal with.
Right.
Like, you know, they didn't think it through, they didn't process it. They just kept going. When the things happened, they just kept going. You were a human being. So after a year and a half, I felt like I was ready for the next man to come prove himself that he deserved me.
And when the next man came, he was your husband.
Oh my God, that man. Let me sit again. That man, he's an amazing man. I can't see myself with any other person but him. He came in my life and he added. He didn't come to take anything. He came to complete me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's an amazing man. I'm short of words for him.
I wanna ask, how did you know this was God sent? Was there some things he did or some things God told you?
Okay. So remember I told you, I mentioned earlier on that I communicate with God. God communicate with me through my dreams.
Yeah.
Everything that happened in my life, pretty much, I dream about it and it comes to happen, and all that. So my husband, I actually saw him in my dream. Before I even met him, before I knew he even existed. I didn't see his face. I saw a tall man. I mean, that's what I like, you know. A tall, dark-skinned man in my dream. He was, my type is, I like calm guys because I'm like everywhere. So I like them calm so we can balance, you know. We can't both be crazy. We got to have the chill one and the crazy one because I'm the crazy one. So I saw him in my dream. But I didn't see a face. I mean, God always do that to me. He doesn't show me a face. He showed me the whole thing. I'm like, okay, what happened up there? Can I see the face? It's easy, but he didn't show me the face. So one of my friends, she took a nursing, like a travel nurse position in a different state. And the closest church to him was in New York. So he met my husband. Met my husband over there. He was doing he came to preach in the church, something like that. And he was very motivational. And he does like motivational videos and things like that. So I wasn't doing motivational video, but I was the type of person that go to church and talk to mothers how to raise their kid. I didn't have a child then. How to raise your kids, or like how to relate with their teenagers, because I work with teens. The job that nobody does, remember, that's what I do. So I was working with teenagers. I knew how to handle them. So I was helping parents, like, you know, we build their relationship between like bridging the gap between them and their kids and stuff like that. So my friend was like, you know, y'all do the same thing. Like, you know, like, I think you will. No, she didn't come to me like that. So I got to know about him through my friend because of what he does. So I'm like, oh, let me see him. So she showed me a picture, and the first thing that came up, I'm like, oh, that's my husband. I said that, like, I never said that to anybody. I don't think so, but I was like, that's my husband. And she was like, if it's meant to be, it will be. We just brushed it up like that.
Okay.
She don't even remember. And we just said like that. And I added his fan page. He got billions of followers. How you gonna even see me? So later on, I think I just liked his page and that was it. Later on, I think after 3-4 months or 6 probably, I saw Facebook suggested his personal page and I added him. I didn't even know what I was adding. I just added him. And then 6 months later, I'm sitting there. I did not forget about him. I'm sitting there at my work, stressed out at work, because, you know, every day I'm stressed out at work. I saw, how do you call it? A text, a messenger.
Facebook Messenger?
Yes, from him. I didn't even know it was him. So I saw a messenger on my, and there's a lot of guys that, you know, DM me or inbox me, whatever, you know. So I was like, okay. So I didn't even open it until like, I think 2 days or 3 days. I'm like, someone said, let me go see what it is. 'Cause I knew it was a video. So I opened it, and it was about how African parents are quick to say you were foolish, like bad words to their kids, but it's hard for them to say I love you. I'm like, oh my God, he's speaking my language. Like, this is what I preach about all the time. So I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. So I comment, like I just replied. And he replied, I guess he had nothing to do at that time. So he replied real quick. He was like, oh yeah. And I'm like, I do something like this in Chicago. I don't record it or anything like that, but I talk to family and all that kind of stuff. So we can actually do something together. I don't know if I said it first, he said it. He would say I said it, but let me just take it. I said it. So later on, let me see. So I'm trying to remember because it's been a while. So we kind of like started from there. So we, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
Take your time and continue.
Okay. So yeah, so I replied, and he replied, and he was like, okay, when you get an idea, we can share and do something together. He was like, I'll let you know if I get an idea, and I said the same thing too. The next day, this man inboxed me. He has an idea. I was like, oh, that was quick. But sure. He was like, can I call you? I was like, yeah, you can call me on Messenger. I had just come back from work. I looked raggedy as hell. And he called me on video call. First time calling me on video call. I didn't care. I answered, and it wasn't weird. It felt like I've known this man all my life. So we talk and talk. We talk about the idea he has for like 2 minutes. The rest, I don't know what we talked about. We were just talking and talking and talking. So we became friends. So we started talking like, every day, not like once in a while on Facebook. So it was a day that we were talking, and he was like, I can't hear you. I could hear him perfectly, but he said he couldn't hear me. So he was, oh, can I get your number so I can call you on your phone? I knew he could hear me. He just wanted my number, but he would deny if he's here. So he called me. He got my number, and then he called me. And then we talk and talk, and then we just never stopped talking from then. So we talk and talk. We were friends for a while. And then all this while I haven't seen him in person because it was phone call. It was always video call. We never did a regular phone call.
He was in New York.
He was in New York. I was in Chicago or Illinois. It was like 6 months. So I flew to New York because I was going to Ghana. So I went to go see him. So we both knew that we wanted each other, but we wanted to wait to see physically if we were attracted to each other because he had past experiences that he was dating long distance. He got to meet the girl, and they were not. It wasn't the same. So, and I mean, I was okay with it because I'm like, I want to know if I'm attracted to him or not. I want to know because I could only see when we're doing video call. It's only his face. Is he crippled? Is he even though I knew that he wouldn't lie to me about that. So we met, and it felt like we knew each other for so long. Like it wasn't weird. It was so natural. Like he started bothering me, like hitting my head, like not abusing me, but just like playing with me, like pet play, whatever. Yeah. So it was like that, and that's where everything began. And it's like this man knew, like when they say if you know, you know. Yeah. I met him in January. In May, he proposed to marry me. And then the following, that August, we did our court wedding. The following year, we did our wedding, like the traditional wedding. Yeah. We did all that.
So
yes.
I want to ask this question because there are a lot of people who've been through a traumatic experience. What you went through is certainly traumatic. I know you had a year and a half where you and God were besties and you were focused on your self-love and you were healing. Did you have any moment of doubts when you met your husband, or was it strictly, here's a man I want to marry and we're good? Like there was no emotional...
Like he's gonna hurt me, he's gonna cheat on me.
Is he gonna do what these other men did to me? Was there anything triggering to you?
See, my personality, I tend not to use what I don't let people pay for what they didn't do.
Okay.
So when I see a person, it's you and your behavior.
Okay.
When I see another person, it's you and your behavior. I don't care if y'all twins. Okay. I believe that you both are different people.
Right.
You both have different behaviors.
Right.
You know, and I think it's also, I think I was just born to be what I do now. Because that's literally just my personality, how I judge people, you know. So I didn't have that self-conscious, oh, is he going to cheat? He was in New York, I was in Illinois, and I was fine. He never gave me a reason. When I met him, I think that was one of the good signs God gave me, because I tested him with God. Like with God, I was like, God, if he's my man, let this happen. And literally it will happen. So I tell my husband all the time, the day I'll have doubt about like if you're doing something wrong or something like that, that's the day that I really, like, I should be concerned or you should be concerned. Like he's not God. He's a human being. He make a mistake and all that. But when I met him, it was some different level of peace. Like I felt at peace. I can't explain like the feeling of the peace that I got. I was very much at peace. I had no doubt like he will ever do anything to me.
Wow.
Like, I don't know. It was more like I was naive again, but in a good way. Like I was vigilant. Oh, this time around, I was looking, you know, but I wasn't looking for red flag. I was more like, my communication was through God. Like he would say something that I wasn't happy about. I'm not going to go around and tell a friend.
You would tell God.
I went on my knees. And I'm like, hey, God, listen. This is what this man is telling me.
That's powerful.
What does that mean? And by the time I wake up, I'll have my answer. And anyone that knows my husband, maybe people don't know about this. If he was a girl, people would say he's stuck up. Because that man, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, he tested me to the core. And not knowing all this, he was also testing God. And he prayed to God. He put his heart in God and told God the same thing I told him, that whoever want me need to, like, my heart is with you. Whoever want me or whoever deserve me need to have, they need to also, like, they need, you need to also have your heart, if that makes sense. So yeah, so like we were praying about the same prayer. We didn't even know each other.
Wow.
You know, so like God kind of like sync us together in type of way. So like I didn't have any doubt that he was going to do anything bad to me with, like, cause my friends, some of my coworkers be like, you haven't met him before. You're going to meet him in New York. What if he raped you? What if like, you know, he's a serial killer? I'm like, no, he's not. I was very confident because I knew who I was dealing with, which is God. I'm like, God, I've been through it all. Like, what you want to show me? You showing me. I don't want any more lesson. I'm okay. Like, you know, the lesson you've given me, it's enough. Let this one be the joy that I can talk about, you know. And God is a listening God. He listens to our prayer.
He does.
He really does. People be like, oh, don't pray for a specific man. I'm telling y'all today, viewers, watch me. If you're praying for a man, make sure you tell God exactly what you want. I told God from head to toe, I want a tall man. I stated the height. I told God, you know, I want something good. You know, I said everything. Dark-skinned man, he asked me. I was very specific. And he listened to me. I feel like if you don't believe in God, if you limit God, like, oh, you know, you guys, you need to let God, you know, let your will be done. He already know your heart. He know what you asking for. You know, you just sugarcoating it. Let your will be done by in your heart. You know the kind of man you want. He knows already. So let him know. Just verbalize it. Let him know this is what you want. I told God everything. And everything I described, he gave me that and more. Like the things that I didn't even request for, he gave me that. You know? So that's how we read like our relationship. Like I never like really had any like doubts or anything like that. Yeah.
So now looking at you now, you are what you said way in the beginning. You're a wife now, you're a mother. So with this beautiful love, you created a beautiful daughter. So I want to focus on Helena now. You started a company called AfriConnect.
Yes.
And you're a working therapist at a psych hospital. How is life like for you now?
It's a busy one. Because remember, I'm a wife. I gotta do wife duties.
Yeah.
I'm a mother. That's the job they give you no manual. You have to figure on your own. Thank God I'm blessed to have people around me that help out here and there. God bless all of them. Because I would not know how I was gonna do it without them. But in terms of balancing it, or how is it now, it's going great. And again, I have an amazing husband who helps out a lot. He helps out with my child, like with our daughter, a lot. Like that's her best friend, whatever. That's
so jealous.
I hear, because the bond is so beautiful, but I love it.
Yeah,
because that's the relationship I wanted with my father that I never had, and I prayed to God that I wanted that for my kids. That's breaking the cycle.
I love it.
I wanted, like, that for my kids. I want my kids to grow up in a household, like, a two-parent household. See how love is. Like, because I feel like these days we portray like, oh, marriage is a hard thing. If you marry someone that report to God, know that if I'm doing this to somebody's daughter, how is God going to feel about it? When they're doing something to you, they would think twice.
Yeah.
Because we both report to one Father. We say this to ourselves. I mean, me and my husband, we say this all the time. We report to one God. I'm not going to follow you around. Who are you talking to? Who are you doing all that? And if you know me, females come to my house every day. People come to my house. My husband work with females, work on females. If I'm to be worried, I'll be going crazy. But I know who I serve. And I know that we report to one person. If he's going to go out there and do whatever he want to do, he'll come back and face God. And that's on him and God. You know what I mean? So that's what
it's a
really...
confidence for me.
I'm very confident. Anybody that knows me, I mean, look at me.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? Look at me. If he want to go, that's another man. I can't be born 3. I still find me a man because I know my heart. I know the man. I know the God I serve.
So in the beginning, we mentioned you are CEO of a company called AfriConnect. That sounds very interesting to me. I want to know what AfriConnect stands for, what it means, and why AfriConnect.
So AfriConnect it's basically like how it sounds, African, like connecting Africans.
Okay.
In the diaspora, or like, let's say United States, for now, because we want to go global.
Of course.
So it's pretty much about, I noticed that when Africans migrate to United States, there's a lot of problems, like in terms of finding resources. And me being a social worker at my church, I pretty much give a lot of resources to them. So I'm like, I feel like I'm just sharing like just a few people. So why can't I extend my hand and share it with like the whole entire community, the African community? So that's how AfriConnect was birthed. It's basically just helping people finding jobs, like doing applications for, like, not for them, but teach them how to do application when they had just arrived in the United States. Help them with housing, resume building, interview skills.
So it's setting them up for
success.
Yeah, for success.
Yes.
Okay.
So I feel like if you have those many like tools, you'll be able to, like, build yourself from there. Because when you go to a new country, imagine you don't know anybody there. You have to figure it out, and then language can be a barrier as well. So we have translators as well to help them translate, for job interviews, or like, interpret, and like any kind, like even they're going to the hospital, some people need interpreter to help them interpret their language into English, because some African countries don't speak English at all. So that is the problem that I noticed. I'm like, okay, I need to turn this into like a company so that I can actually have like help the world pretty much. So that I won't just help my church people, but I can help the whole entire African community.
So somebody from Africa will come to America. How can they find AfriConnect? How can they find you? Is it only through the circle of church members you have, or how can they connect?
It's open to everybody. It's open to the public. Right now we're based in Columbus, Ohio. That's where I live now. So where it's starting.
Okay.
And then eventually we want to move it to like different states. So it's open to the public. If you live in Columbus, Ohio, you are welcome to connect with AfriConnect, like, so we can help you. We have a website. It's www.africonnect.org. So you can, go through that.
Okay.
Our phone numbers are out there as well. Like if you go on our website, you can get our phone numbers as well.
Okay.
And I'll give our phone number to you later so you can put it on the screen.
Yes, please.
So they can, get it. So it's not just for my church, it's for the whole entire community, the African community. If you are not African and you're watching me, if you are Caribbean, like anybody really, if you need help, just come, we'll help you.
So it's just because the name is African.
It's not just for African. I can't. Hispanic person can't come to me and be like, I need help. I can't be like, no, you're not African. That's discriminating. Like, we can't do that. So I would definitely help anybody. It's open to the public. We just want to help you. When you move here, we want to make sure that you are okay. Everything is going fine. Like, we are actually helping you towards success and all that. And we provide individual and family counseling as well.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is you've turned your lessons into this beautiful life that you have now. You are doing what you're doing because of what you went through. Even meeting your husband, you took the time to have that relationship with God because of what you went through. So it wasn't like everything you went through was for nothing. It was almost like it was necessary.
It was preparing me.
It was preparing you
for my life,
for what
today.
you are doing today. And that's why I call it diamond in the making. Because you can go through so much and you will come out
fine.
Not fine. You can come out, detrimental. Like, it will be so bad that you probably be on drugs. You probably
have the effect on you.
Exactly. But you were able to go through the sexual assault twice. And you were able to go through 2 men that were mentally abusing you, physically abusing you. You were able to go through the fact that your dad was missing. Not missing totally, but that love connection wasn't there. Your mom being halfway across the world. You went through a lot and you came out shining. That is what I call a diamond in the making. That's the reason why I have you here today. So before we end the show, there's no way you can leave without giving us advice. Like, somebody's watching you today and they want to know, what can I take from this lady? You said a lot. And what I personally will say that I took from you is going to God. That part I was shaking. I was like, oh my God. Like, I love how through your relationship, everything started turning for your good. I know I can learn that from you. But to somebody else, what would you advise them from everything you've been through?
In life, we've all have different paths, right? And the way life comes, whatever you experience in life, is up to you to make it as an excuse to react to it in a negative way, or to take that as a lesson. So is it an excuse or you make it into a lesson? So if you make it into a lesson, if you turn your experiences into a lesson, you can turn it into a positive lesson or a positive outcome and, reflect on it that way. You can also make it into an excuse. I'm like this because I went through this. I'm like this, I'm on drugs because I went through this. I'm holding around because I went through this, or you can be like, I went through this. I want to also educate people. I want to use what I learned from my experience to encourage others or to make my life better, so that other people see me and be like, you've been through this. How do you do it? So that's how I saw you. So like in life, really, life gives you 2 options. That's how I see life. You can make you can make an excuse out of your experiences, or you can make a lesson out of your experiences. That's the best advice I can give anybody watching me. If you're watching me, you've been through traumatic experiences and you still have no one that you wanna, no one that hears you, or no one that validate that emotions, or no one that validate that experience, seek a professional help. And I'm not saying that because I'm a therapist, or I'm not saying that because I'm a social worker. Really, seek a professional help. There is so much that comes with experiencing a traumatic event. Like, so much that if you are not careful and you bubble it up, like, one day you're going to break down. And you might have, I work in a psych hospital. The people that come there with so many suicide thoughts, they will not kill themselves because there's a lot of things that there's a lot of experience that they didn't deal with.
Right.
Like, you know, they didn't think it through, they didn't process it. They just kept going. When the things happened, they just kept going. You a human being. Even the switch, the light switch or whatever, it resets, right? You know how it has a reset button? It like it gets to a point you have to reset it. So as human, you have to reset yourself. Finding a therapist is not a bad thing. I think in our community, that's the people I want to talk to right now. Mental illness is not something that I think the stigma needs to be. We need to cut it off because really, you can be good or you can be physically strong. If mentally you are messed up, your whole entire life is messed up because your brain is your power. Your mind is your power. So if you don't take it, like we have so much pride in saying, I'm going to a doctor for checkup. Do we have a time that we say, I'm going to therapy just for checking? Just to check in to see if there's, just to check in, to vent somebody, to talk to somebody. You know, doing that is not embarrassing. When you go to therapy, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It just means that you care about you as you should. You know what I mean? So in life, just find a professional. Talk to somebody. It's not expensive. You know, at least I know I'm not. So, it's not expensive. So just make sure you find somebody to talk to. And whatever experience you like that experience, like an event that happened in your life, just look at it and take the positive thing out of it. What can I learn from this? I'm experiencing my parents going through a lot of problems. What am I taking from it? Am I breaking the cycle and learning so I don't get into the same cycle? I watch maybe I watch an abusive relationship or like something. What am I taking out of that? I mean, someone will be like, what is it to take it from an abusive relationship? Yes, you can take a lot. Now you know the signs. You know what I'm saying? Like you can know the red flags and everything, pay attention, and then you can turn that into a beautiful, positive outcome. Yeah. That's the best I can say. Okay. I hope I changed somebody's life out there.
If you've not changed nobody's life, you changed my life. Getting to know you has definitely been a life-changing thing. There was no way I could have this show without having you on, because I know some of the stuff that you've shared today, and it makes me think, like, if she can go through this and come out stronger, when stuff like this happens to me too, I have an outlet. I know where to turn to. I know how to deal with it. Yes. So I'm pretty sure somebody out here that listens to your story knows how to react better now, even if somebody around them is not giving them that option. They've learned from Mrs. Helena Bentil that this is out there. So I want to thank you so much. I feel like the word thank you is an underestimating it or understatement. I feel like I used to, like, I don't know, like go on the floor and say, God, you have to do that. But I'm very serious saying thank you for being open and sharing your story. It's not an easy thing to do. It's very emotional, emotionally draining, and emotionally. It's a lot to go back to your trauma, to go back to what scarred you, and you were able to do that. So I want to applaud you for that and say I appreciate you. I'm pretty sure you have changed somebody's life by just sharing your story. So I want to say thank you so much.